Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Vidane TV. It is NEPs night in America, baby, and welcome. A little Thursday night action here, a little iRacing action for the New England, Pennsylvania iRacing Shift Marketing and Design Series. You ready for this one? The Myrtle Beech Ridge 150, presented by CodyLeBlancRacing. Showtime, Paul Strickland Jr. up here in the broadcast booth, and alongside with me, as always, on Thursday nights, Ron, Aaron Creed. Aaron, how we doing tonight, man?
Well, we're doing all right, getting out of that holiday food slumber and getting ready for some more racing. And it's throwback night tonight with the Myrtle Beech. We call it the Myrtle Beech Ridge race?
I nailed it one time at the top of the show. I'm probably going to jack up the name of the race throughout the rest of the night, so we'll probably just call it the Myrtle Beech 150. I think we'll do that.
In honor of a couple past tracks, though, Myrtle Beech Speedway, where we're at tonight, and Beech Ridge Motor Speedway in Maine.
Kind of almost connecting the boundaries almost all the way north and almost all the way south with the NEP drivers, which is kind of neat. Speaking of kind of neat, a couple of new features here tonight. Just taking a peek at that, I guess we could call it a loading screen, waiting for the show to start, waiting for that green flag to drop. Had that little timer there, had the little track map, and we were able to follow along with the top 15 in practice times. I think we're going to keep doing that each and every week here on Thursday nights here on Vidane TV. Let us know what you thought of that, and chime in. Live and interactive here on YouTube, on Facebook, and on Twitch. Give us a like, a subscribe, a follow, all that good stuff, and let us know where you're watching from, who you're pulling for, and we'll try to be as interactive as we can. It's kind of tough here on Thursday nights with as action-packed as these NEPs races are.
Yeah, definitely a lot going on, and we just actually are wrapping up qualifying right now, and some fast competitors up front.
100%. Couple of substitute drivers in here tonight. Keith Lord returning back to the NEP series here, jumping in the 14 machine for Zane Farrell, and Kyle Peebles is going to be in that number 3 car for Brandon Newhouse. And looks like it was a super sub once again, because he sat that thing on the pole so far with just a few minutes to go before we get going. Taking a quick look here at points, Reagan Parent coming in as the leader, 3 points over Kenny Kibbe. Evan Bollier in third place, back about 20 markers or so. Stephen Daddio, Corey Casagrande, the top 5, and John Peters finding himself on the outside looking in, 49 points back in 6th. Brent Roy, Zane Farrell, Scott McDonald, and Jason Ricker rounding out the top 10. So tight points battle here as we come to a close in the 2022 calendar year, and man, we're getting ready to go racing. Looks like that's it for qualifying, so we're going to line them up on the racetrack.
Yeah, we're getting ready to go, and we were talking about some of those point leaders, and once again, they're right next to each other. Actually, it's a great qualifying run for Reagan Parent on the outside of that front row, as he started towards the back in the past races. He'll start alongside Brandon Newhouse, who, like you said, has a sub for today's race. I believe it's you said it was Kyle Peebles.
Yes, correct, and fast in that 3 car. So. Going to be fun to watch. Reagan Parent, there you said, as well. Kenny Kibbe with throwback scheme. We noticed there in practice, little Ritz and Oreo smash up there. That's all. I used to do that as a kid, too. I'd smash up my Oreos and my Ritz crackers and put them in the same bag. I didn't actually do that. I'm not that twisted. Steve Daddio in the double 9 is going to be starting outside of row number 2.
And in row number 3, we got a pair of Ryans. We've said that name a lot this season. Ryan Messer starting inside of row 3, and then we've got Ryan Libby on the outside.
Dale Glessner in that number 10 machine. Good qualifying run for him. Going to start P7. Outside of him, the reigning, defending 3-time champ, John Peters in the 09 car, starting 8th.
Yeah, Peters going to be looking for that first win of the season. Row number 5, Jason Ricker. We've seen him up front a lot this season. And Brandon Marhefka with a top 10 start in the number 13.
42 car Matt Shanoski taking that thing in the P11 spot. Magic Mike Hopkins, good qualifying run for him as well. He's going to be starting at P12.
And we go to the next page, and starting in row 7, we got Ryan Salvatore, and then Zane Farrell listed on the lineup, but like we said, Keith Lord stepping in to pilot that number 14 to keep Zane there up in the points.
And you can see the rest of the field on the screen right now. Evan Bollier, Corey Casagrande, Dylan Kopech, Austin Belke, cool throwback for him, running a tribute to his grandfather's 67 Camaro. We're going to be taking a peek at that 24 car here very shortly. Brent Roy, there you see tonight's sponsor, Cody LeBlanc, starting back at P20. A little bit of work to do back here. Bobby Shipp, Jared Adams, Brian Shipp, Jeff Brown coming through the field here. Scott McDonald, Devin Marhefka starting shotgun. So 22 drivers, 26 drivers here at Myrtle Beach. Going to do 150 laps. Final race of the 2022 year, and going to be heading into the weekend. Somebody's going to be celebrating big time with a victory here in the New England, Pennsylvania iRacing Shift Marketing and Design Grand National Series. And we're about to take that green flag. There you see the pace truck down on pit road. We wait till we get to that start-finish line, and there goes Barney with that green flag racing here in a little Thursday night action.
Yeah, and a lot of laps still to go as we got 150 laps. That's a pretty long one for these NEP guys, and it's on an abrasive surface like Myrtle Beach Speedway. But right now we got Reagan Parent, one of those championship contenders, breaking out into the early lead as the number 3 follows into second. They're side by side still for third between Kenny Kibbe and Steven Daddio. Daddio looking to make that outside line work for him, doing a great job here on this short track facility.
You can see everybody trying to get down to the bottom side of the racetrack with the double 9 of Daddio up on the top side trying to make it work. One thing I saw already, look at the back of the 09 car, the reigning defending champ John Peters, big time damage. Looks like he's missing the back of that race car. Already getting a little bumper car action here early on in lap number 3.
Yeah, it looks like things got a little squirrely on that initial start. A little bit of a couple drivers maybe not anticipating the start as well as some of the others, or some kind of getting a little anxious. So not the greatest way to start there, but we're on a short track. I don't think that's going to make a huge difference for John Peters. We won't see the arrow really coming into play on a track like this, as we see Ryan Messer now diving a little bit to the inside there, trying to get a line under Kenny Kibbe here, but with it being mostly a one-groove track, maybe a 1.5-groove track surface, it's going to be tough to pass. As there you see Messer gets a little bit loose there, going for that position within the top 5.
Yeah, a little bit squirrely in the back end for the 1 car, but he got us it back up. You can see that 4 car, Kenny Kibbe, there's that throwback scheme we were talking about before we took the green flag. Running pretty solidly up here in the top 3, started 3rd and is running 3rd right now, right in front of Messer. Still trying to chase down Reagan Parent, the points leader coming into tonight's race. New leader here as well, Brandon Newhouse. His subs running in that 2nd position. Kibbe in 3rd, Ryan Messer, Steve Daddio in the top 5.
And we got a yellow flag coming out.
It appears it may have something to do with that 26 car. We're going to pull up to U-House and Racing Designs Instant Replay and take a peek at that and find out exactly why it is that we're under caution here for the very first time.
Yeah, definitely. Let's see what happens here. Hard to tell, really, what's going on here.
Yeah, looking back at the tapes, I'm not actually seeing the incident on track. Not to say that there wasn't one, but just not pulling it up here on the cameras. We'll take another peek here and see.
Yeah, it kind of looked like before the yellow, we were seeing on the scoring pylon there a few scoring issues. So I don't know if we're looking to potentially reset what's going on with the running order or something like that, but yeah, we don't see really too much trouble that really took place here. There you see Reagan Parent still being shown as the leader. We do have a handful of cars that are being shown under the scoring as out of the race. So hopefully we'll get that cleared up here shortly.
Yeah, that's one of those things we'll actually take a look at and see if we can't get that taken care of. Don't usually do it here at Vidane TV. We're going to take ourselves a little bit of a commercial break. We'll be back right here, though, to take that green flag once again. Sometimes in live TV, you get yourself a little bit of a hiccup, but hey, we got it all sorted out here, and that's what we do if it ain't TV, and we're back to entertain the masses. And there you can see the lights are off on the official pace truck of iRacing, and lining up 2x2 in behind them. We weren't able to see what exactly brought the caution flag out. It was something towards the back. You can see Brown and Marhefka. Brown's down a lap, Marhefka out of the race, and we had to kind of kick the old box that does a lot timing and scoring there, got it all reset, got ourselves back up and running, and we're going to take that green flag here once again. Going to cross the start lap number 13.
Here we go. We're going to go side by side here. Parent taking the outside here for the restart in the 117, and it's going to work out for him once again. He gets a great restart. Ryan Messer on the outside looking for second. As Kenny Kibbe with that throwback scheme. We got a pair of Oreo cars here running for the third spot. Further back, Ryan Libby, and I believe that's Dale Glessner battling for position. Lots going on in this speedway.
46 car there, and you can see a little throwback paint scheme to peek at the ride for number 42 of Matt Shanoski up there in 10th spot. Finally breaking into the top 10. Qualifying right outside. Up a little bit up the ways racetrack. You can see getting into the turn, gets a good run. Loses just a little bit. Ricker down there in the 9 car on the bottom side. Ooh, contact between the two of them, the 42 up into the outside wall. That's going to bring out caution flag number 2, and we saw that happen live right in front of us.
Yeah, and that beautiful throwback scheme for Matt Shanoski is not looking so beautiful anymore. I don't think it's going to lap the field like Kyle Petty did at Rockingham in that car way back in the day. But let's see what happened here.
Yeah, we pull up the U-House Racing Design Instant Replay, and you can see focus in on these two cars here, and 42 car kind of racing side by side, and just kind of loses in front of the race car, gets a little bit loose coming out of the corner, gets into the 2 car, and really gets the worst of it getting into that outside wall. You can see Mike Hopkins coming up to say hello, giving him a little tap in the driver door. Going to have to get that repaired down on pit road, but all in all, not as hard of a hit as it could have been, but it could have been a whole lot worse.
Yeah, kind of running out of real estate there, and that could have been a lot worse for Jason Ricker, too. He'll maintain his top 10 position despite the contact, and we'll get ready to go back to green here shortly.
And you can see Parent holding on to the lead and holding on to the points lead here very narrowly, just a few points over the second place driver, Kenny Kibbe. 3 points separating the top 2. Very close. We get in to the end of 2022 and into the cooler months, or the colder months of winter, supposedly. Now they're talking about a big heat wave next week across the country, which should be kind of nice, give everybody an opportunity to kind of work on the real race cars. And this is kind of the time where everybody's working on their real racing schedules. You're still doing the sim racing, still concentrating and keeping your wits sharp with everything about racing and about racetracks and things like that, but still trying to put pen to paper to all the real racing stuff. And I know myself have a big weekend coming up in July. SRX Series is going to be at Stafford Motor Speedway on July 13th. That Thursday night, that's going to be on ESPN. The next Friday at the very same racetrack, Stafford Motor Speedway, I'm making my return to the Street Stock Division. I'm going to be in the number 6 car for Rent a Race Car. That's sponsored by Vidane TV. Super excited about that. And then Saturday, Sunday, this guy's going up and loud. I'm going to watch some modifieds and the Xfinity and the Cup race for Saturday and Sunday. So really looking forward to that, and I encourage anybody out there that is in the Northeast to follow along. Let's take a little Vidane TV pilgrimage. I'm going to have myself a case of Vidane TV t-shirts with me that weekend. So definitely come out, say hi, have a beer or two, and grab a t-shirt and hang out.
It definitely sounds like an exciting weekend, and with that SRX schedule getting released. And if things work out, I might have to make a pilgrimage up there too. So never know when you might see me here up there again. Hopefully sooner rather than later. But we've got we're going to get ready to go back to green. But we were talking about drivers getting their cars ready. I believe Cody LeBlanc is getting a race car ready to head south to Dillon Motor Speedway in about a week or so. And I think Keith Lord's going to be going with him to spot the crew. So some racers are going to be doing some racing here sooner rather than later.
And that's always cool to see. And you can always follow along on all the social media outlets, especially on Twitter. Head on over to the NEP iRacing Twitter feed. You can get hooked up with all these drivers and kind of follow along with the real racing and the sim racing and watch how they mash together with the green flag going to fly once again. Fantastic restart for the 17 of Parrot. He's going to pull away by about a car length, maybe 2, over Messer.
Yeah, interesting to see Parent took the inside line that time for the restart. And, once again, it worked out for him. The outside did not work out for the number 3 machine, as Ryan Messer now files into second, Kenny Kibbe into third, and now John Peters has worked his way into the top 5, and he's looking for 4th spot.
And you can see that damage not really affecting the handling of that 09 car too much, getting a little bit of a bumpski there early on. I think we saw back before lap 3, even finished it up, and you can see Daddy on the 99 getting right up, getting a close look at what's left of that back bumper. Just letting them know that Peters is there, and they're having a great run in that 6th position. Libby right in behind him in the 46th. Lester in the 10 car up in 8th. Ryan Salvatore, Evan Boyer in the top 10.
Yeah, very competitive race going on. Boyer, he started outside the top 10. He's one of the bigger movers right now, working his way. He's always strong on these short track configurations, so he'll be one to watch here. We see our Sal doing a good job in the number 12. They're running inside the top 10, and always appreciative of him to provide all the stats and information, a lot of information for us. He's doing a good job in that throwback Toyota. I believe that was the Truck Series ride that Toyota scheme is running from the Truck Series back in about 2004, 2005 time. So he's doing a good job at it, but Evan Boyer able to pull to the outside of him. Further back, we got Dylan Kopak in the number 16, battling with Brandon Markovka. We saw Kopak have a pretty good run last time out, and Corey Casagrande currently up there in the points, trying to maintain his good start to the season, currently battling side by side with Kopak. Zane Farrell's number 14 being driven tonight by Keith Lord. A lot of battling for position going on. Brent Roy, all of these drivers trying to find their way towards the front.
And right in behind, we'll take a look at that number 24 car of Austin Belke, a little throwback to a 67 Camaro owned by his grandfather. Pretty cool to kind of dedicate a sim racing car to a real racing car. And he's looking at a 3-wide battle briefly up in front of him. These drivers trying to get up towards the front here. Still early on in this one. A little bit of a long race to kind of close out the year. 150 laps here. About 18 to 20 second lap times or so around this racetrack. So it's going to be not going to be a too late of a night here at the Dame TV, but a little bit longer for these drivers. So it's going to be a wonder if that focuses in as we move on.
Yeah, there's still a long way to go. 120 laps remaining. We're going to see pit stop strategy come into play at some point. I imagine that I didn't get to review it beforehand, but I imagine they'll have a couple sets of tires to take with how abrasive and aged this surface is. So a long way to go, a lot to figure out. Some drivers kind of probably taking it easy right now. We see that a lot at past Myrtle Beach Speedway races. I remember seeing some of the modified tour events where you'd see drivers kind of hang in the second half of the field, and then sooner than you know it, it gets towards the end of the race and they're battling for the lead. So could see the same contenders currently up front battling, as we've seen Parent, Messer, and Kibbe towards the front in almost every race this season. So we'll see what happens as things continue to progress. A long way to go in this event.
And if you joined us here on the feed a little bit earlier on, we were able to follow along with all the practice and qualifying times. Ooh, big slide there for 17. Apparently he's able to hold on to it, but lost a lot of momentum. Messer gonna peek down on the bottom side, kick that door wide open and take advantage of that. Gonna bring the 4 car of Kibbe with him, gets up to his door. There's a wiggle for Messer as well. These drivers get a little bit loose as they get into a run, and one of the things that we saw as we were following along with the practice times, you were able to see that all these drivers ran a lot of practice laps, but they were running a lot of short runs. It's just a crossover there for the 17 apparent. Again, getting a little bit wiggly there in the back end of that 17 car. These drivers ran a lot of practice times or practice laps earlier on, but they didn't really practice coming down pit road under green flag conditions. And with this long green flag run that it looks like we're setting ourselves up for, that's going to be in the back of these drivers' mind. As you can see, the kind of front 6, 7, 8 cars starting to kind of accordion back up to each other as we get into this run. Yeah,
interesting to see Peters has slid back a little bit. He was in the top 5, knocking on the door for 4th, and now he's back to 8th. So once again, that car looking a little bit more like a hatchback than some of the other cars, but it's currently running well, and I think we see by those lap times, everyone just trying to run a little on the consistent side here. John Peters running there in the low 22nd range, which is a bit slower than they qualified. So right now, everyone just trying to stay out of trouble, keep their cars in one piece, keep the tires under them, and make it to this next round of the first round of pit stops. As we see, the only driver that has made a pit stop so far is Mike Hopkins, and that was really to repair some damage that was sustained in that accident with Matt Shanowski earlier.
Yeah, pretty much everybody up in the top 20 still on the original set of tires they started the race here, working lap number 38, and we've seen a lot of the drivers, even up in the top 5, top 10 or so, losing kind of the back end of the race car, coming up and getting losing. You can see a little side-by-side battle here for that 5th position. 46 car Libby going to go all the way down to the bottom of the racetrack, get right on around Daddio. He's going to close right back up and almost touch that back bumper of the 46 car, back up just a little bit, and almost set up his next move, his next shot there, kind of do his homework and see where Libby's faster as they come out of turn number 4 here, crossing the stripe. You can see losing a little bit of space there, but still able to get in contact and fighting distance with that 46.
Yeah, definitely. And right now we see the 3 is reeling in on Regan Parent, the early leader, who has slid back to 3rd. We see Ryan Messer and Kenny Kibbe pulling away a little bit. And Regan Parent, we saw him make that big slide earlier, and now we see the number 3 kind of get into the outside, looking to the inside, trying to find some kind of way, potentially, by this number 17 machine. And right now, a lot of great racing going on as we're continuing in the first third of this race.
There you can see Kyle Peddle has his name on a sticker, a temporary sticker there up on the dashboard. They're running the 3 car for Brandon Newhouse, keeping him in the points battle and trying to get into the race battle here. You can see all over the back bumper now of that 17 car, and you can really hear he's using the throttle to kind of steer the race car as much as the steering wheel as we get into these long green flag runs.
Yeah, definitely. And right now, once again, we see some more battling heating up for this 3rd position. And right now they're going to stay single file, but may not be for very long. Evan Boyer has moved his way into 7th spot from his, I believe, 15th starting position. Great job by the number 56. Continuing, look at that awesome camera angle right there, seeing that exhaust flame coming out of the passenger side, and a good view of those sponsorships on the number 56. Great job by Evan Boyer right now.
Smooth and consistent. That's going to be the key as we get around here. Long race here, but we're approaching already the 1/3 marker. These guys clicking these laps off like it's like it's their job, like they do this almost each and every week, and that's what we do here on Thursday nights. NEP joining us here on Vidane TV, season number 4. You're listening to Showtime, Paul Strickland Jr., Aaron Creed in the broadcast booth. You're watching on Vidane TV. We're live all over the place on YouTube. Do a quick search for Vidane TV, especially on a smart TV, on an app. You can get us up on the big screen and watch wherever you've got that smart device. You can check us out over on Facebook as well, Vidane TV, and on Twitch, twitch.tv/Strictly94. And try to be live and interactive, so let us know where you're watching from, who you're pulling for, who your favorite driver is. And hey, if you recognize one of these throwback schemes that we may or may not have missed, give us a shout. Let us know. Call us out on it, and we can definitely get a little focus in on your favorite driver.
Yeah, we don't see a ton of throwback schemes this weekend, but a few really cool ones, definitely. And one of them being that number 4 that Kenny Kibbe's driving, as the battle for 3rd continues to heat up, as Ryan Libby is now kind of turning up the wick in the number 46. The leaders are, I believe, catching up to Jeff Brown in the 27, who's running a throwback of some sort. I wish I would have reached out to him earlier on to get a little bit of history on that number 27. Definitely a different scheme than he's running. In the past, he's run a throwback-looking scheme as it is, which was kind of a Dave Dion throwback when he was running the number 29, and I think I know what that car is. on the front of that car, I believe that's Alice Cooper on the front of the number 27, from an ARCA kind of battle, partnership that they had way back. I shouldn't say way back, because it was only like 20 years ago. That wasn't that long ago, right?
It's about when I started doing the sim racing, was 20 years ago, and that kind of shows my age just a little bit, I guess. But there you can see one lap after 1/3 of this race, and 27 car just trying to hold on to it. You can see he was moving up the racetrack, letting the lead lap drivers get around this thing. Doesn't want to affect the racing too much, but you can see Libby all over the back bumper of that number 3 car, trying to get that position and get right up to him. Oh, big time push there, and then caution flag flies outside of the racetrack, or other side of the racetrack. Salvatore in the number 12 car, super sport in the wrong direction.
Yeah, I love those white wheels, but I don't know if he may have white walled it there. But we'll see what happened here momentarily with the number 12 machine. And wow, it looks like he's facing the wrong way for sure.
Yeah, 100%. The white wheels are nice. Probably needed a little bit of chrome to them to get that extra horsepower, but we'll take a peek here. Focus in on the 12 car. You can see there's some damage on the outside of that race car, on the passenger side. And coming into the corner, slows up. Everything looks good. A little bit of tight battle in there between the 24 to 14. Kopech was in there as well. All the teams. The 12 is there as well. So Salvatore, pardon me, gets pointed in the wrong direction, gathers it back up, doesn't hit anything, but caution flag flies once again. That's going to kind of reset the pit clock, and everybody's coming down pit road.
Yeah, definitely a lot going on here. It looked like in that replay, Keith Ward got in a little hot there. Hopefully, he didn't do too much damage to Zane Farrell's number 14. I think, did Ryan Messer stay out? That's going to be interesting to see. It looks like some of the leaders may have decided to take 2 tires versus 4, and a lot of things changing around here as we see Austin Belke up to 4th spot. We haven't seen him in the top 10 all day. Wow, a lot going on, and right now Ryan Messer will be the leader when we go back to green, as long as he doesn't come back down pit road. It's gonna take a little while to sort this out.
Yeah, taking a peek, it looks like the top 4 on the racetrack stayed out on the track. Ryan Messer, Reagan Parent, John Peters, and Austin Belke in that number 24 car. Everybody else came down pit road, and they're led by the 4 car, Kenny Kibbe, who wins the race off. He scored P5. Brandon Newhouse, Steve Daddio, Evan Bollier, Brent Roy, and Dale Klessner going to be the top 10 as they run. And just looking at back up front, it looks like that 1 car is going to stay out and chancing on old tires. He's going to try and hold on to them to see what the deal is.
Yeah, we're going to see what's going to happen here when we go back to green. Some mixed strategies potentially, and we'll see how important tires versus less tires or no tires are when we go back to green. Ryan Messer will be the leader, Reagan Parent in 2nd, John Peters 3rd, Austin Belke 4th, and Kenny Kibbe rounding out the top 5. So they're going to double up, I believe, this time by. So we're going to see what's going to happen here in just a lap.
Ryan Caudle checking in over on YouTube, cheering for that 1 car, the new leader right now, Ryan Messer. RD Sports Photo LLC checking it out. Austin Belke, a college friend of his son's. Missus used to race the NASCAR 2003, NASCAR 4 back in the day. Looking for some senior leagues. Hey, it's I've been doing this a long time, and man, there's everybody's welcoming in the sim racing world, which is kind of neat. But we're live and interactive. We're going to try and reach all the shout outs that we can, but we're getting ready to crank it back up one more time. Messer down on the inside, Parent up on the outside. That's your points leader, P2. Green flag flies once again here on lap number 59.
Ryan Messer making that inside work. Reagan Parent making that outside work. He's able to stick it there. He does slide a little bit there in the corner and might open the door for John Peters, but Peters is going to just briefly back out for the time being and file into the 3rd spot. Kenny Kibbe working to the outside of Peters. He's not done yet in that number 4 machine. One of the point leaders, the 4 and the 17, they're going to try to continue to keep things. Oh, we got trouble.
Caution flag flies once again. The 99 of Daddio gets a little bit sideways, but it gathers it back up and doesn't look like there was any other contact after that, so that's definitely good news for these drivers. But going to bring out the caution flag for the fourth time here on lap number 60. It also gives us another opportunity to take a peek at that US Racing Design instant replay. We'll back up the tapes here and just looking like a little bit of a racing incident here, going for the same piece of real estate between the 99 and the 24, a little side-by-side action. As we take a peek, C24 right up against that outside wall. Pardon me. Oh, no contact. 99 loses the back of the race car, kind of spins it on around, and there you can see the drivers do a phenomenal job going up to the high side, avoiding any kind of calamity. So that could have been a whole lot worse for pretty much everybody outside the top 5.
Yeah, definitely a lot of great driving right there to make sure that they don't that could have stacked up into something way bigger. And Daddy-O kept it off the wall, and he'll keep going even though he's outside the top 10 now. We'll see if anyone else comes down pit road. I think there was one taker down pit road there. Was that? Can't tell who that is. I think that was Jeff Brown. Yeah, Jeff Brown on the number 27 was down pit road. Got another taker coming down, and that was the little bit bent up number 04 of Bobby Ship. They're gonna get the old sledgehammer out there maybe, and actually it looks like they're gonna jack up the back of the car in the number 04, so actually the left side of the car, and he'll go back and away. Ryan Messer will be continuing to lead. Regan Parent right there in second, Kenny Kibbe, John Peters, and the number 3, normally driven by Brandon Newhouse, running in 5th.
Darren Wilcox checking in over on Facebook, rooting for the Canadian boys. There's going to be 2 of them in this race. Ryan Messer leading up front in the number 1 car. Brent Roy in the top 10, running in 8th right now. Camry Kidd in the 26th spot, doing pretty well. Qualified back in about 19th, maybe 20th position, and he's in to the top 10 right now. And it's pretty cool to see that everybody getting an opportunity to maybe come down pit road, but we're seeing a lot of these drivers pretty confident in how long they can run on this set of tires.
Yeah, and they're probably going to have to continue because they probably only have one more set of tires behind them. So we always try to keep it pretty strategic so they're not coming down every single yellow flag for fresh rubber. Got to save those virtual teams some money there. So they don't have high tire bills at the end of the night. But we're getting ready to go back to green as the field works the backstretch. And here we go once again. We're nearing the halfway point. Regan Parent and Ryan Messer. Messer taking the outside for this restart. So we'll see what happens here as they work the corner and take the green flag.
Noticing the 09 car there on the outside didn't quite get a good jump there on the outside line. Kind of drifted back a little bit. You can see back in the 4th spot. He's probably going to try and tuck in. There you see it right behind the 4 car of Kibbe. You'll see if he can get a little bit running. That 17 car, though, not tucking in. He wants to try and get down to the bottom side. He's going to almost throw a block there on Kibbe in the 4. Almost 3 wide coming out of turn number 4. They get it sorted back out, but we're still 2 wide for second.
Kenny Kibbe really turning up the aggression here, and he has to because that's his main championship contender. As he clears Parent for second spot, Kenny Kibbe, I believe, the only repeat winner this season. So, yeah, he's doing a great job trying to become a 3-time winner. Actually, no, that was Regan Parent. That's a 2-time winner. My mistake. Kenny Kibbe trying to get into that win column once again. We've seen him on the podium several times this season, and he's trying to do it here once again at Myrtle Beech as he is closing on Ryan Messer for that top spot. Evan Boyer has worked his way into the top 5 for the first time tonight, and winner last season at South Boston, a similar track to this, and he's using that outside to maybe kind of arc the corner there a little bit and try to gain some ground on his competitors racing for 3rd spot. Brent Roy kind of came out of nowhere too, running in 6th.
Yeah, running a little bit high on the racetrack, and you can see these guys all over the racetrack working lap number 69 here of 150 on the docket. Little blinky there for Messer, but it looks like a pretty solid connection there for the 1 car here tonight. Everything looking A-OK. Single file for the front three, side by side here. The battle for fourth. Evan Bollier in the middle now. 26-car Roy peeking down on the bottom side. The points leader coming into the evening. The 17 apparent up on the high side. Ooh, big time slide for the 56. Almost looks like something may have broke or a tire gone down on the 56 car. Back up to speed, but a crazy slide for the 56.
Yeah, that was a moment there, but it doesn't seem to have hindered him as he's going right under Reagan Parent, who's really sliding back now on the 117 after really being the driver to beat early on. Maybe kind of hanging back there to save something for later, or maybe he's struggling with a mill-handling car. As we see, the positions have really shuffled with Kibbe up front now, the three of Pebble in second, and Brent Roy now working under fellow Canadian Ryan Messer for the third spot. Ryan Libby's going to try to follow through, but we're going to have to stop as we got a yellow, and we got a car almost at that pit road entrance. And that's Daddy-O again.
Yeah, big bada boom for Daddy-O, it looks like, into the poop barrels, as they call them up in on the rock there in eastbound. We'll take a look at the U-House Racing Designs instant replay, easy enough for me to say, to find out what happened. It looked like a little bit of a multi-car incident as we're rewinding the tapes here, and might have just been some drivers kind of getting around the racetrack to try and avoid here. But we'll take a peek. We'll see what exactly went down, and we're going to focus in here on the 99 of Daddy-O. You can see gets into the corner pretty good. 16 to Kopeck in behind. Looks like he might have got in there just a little bit too hot. There you see a little bit of a Shubsky from the back quarter panel and comes down and very, very close. Getting that thing stopped just in time for making a catastrophic failure in the front end of that 99, but doesn't look like there was any other contact on the racetrack. So again, a little bit of an incident, but no damaged race cars, no collateral damage.
Yeah, definitely, and that could have been a whole lot worse. And we see Ryan Messer came down pit road, giving up, and Reagan Parent too. So maybe those short pits for tires early on did not work out in their favor. John Peters was back down pit road as well. So definitely kind of shuffling the deck here a little bit as we work into the second half of this event, seeing how it all shakes out when we come back to racing here shortly.
Yeah, and we're seeing on the graphic there, Messer, Parent, and Peters. They didn't come down pit road under that last caution flag. And we kind of noticed as we got in, lap 65, 70 or so, that they started to kind of drop back just a little bit. So coming down pit road, going to use a set of those tires. Going to have to restart back in 22nd, 21st, and 23rd in that area. Looking at timing and scoring. 25, 20, 24 cars still in this race. Brian Ship one lap down, it looks like, but still a pretty full field here. Only two cars down pit road. Devin Marhefka, the 22 car, and the 27 of Jeff Brown done for the evening, it looks like. But everybody else still out on the track, and they're all chasing down that 4 car, Kenny Kibbe.
Yeah, and we're going to see if Kibbe can hold off some of these hungry competitors here when we go back to green shortly. A lot of time to go here in this race still, and we're going to see how it all shakes out here very shortly. A lot of racing still left to go, and this kind of longer distance event between holidays here. We had that break last week, and here we are again, getting back into the swing of things. We got quite a few consecutive weeks coming up, I believe, and a lot to go. And we'll get to that upcoming schedule here shortly, but we're going to get back to racing here in a moment.
Yeah, lots of stuff coming up. 2023 of 4 for Dane TV. Talking with a couple of leagues, getting some leagues penciled in here. Looking at 4 nights a week right now, getting into mid-January. So we're got a lot of action coming up. Before we get there, we got to finish this thing up. We're just about at the halfway mark, right around there. Anyway, green flag flies once again. Battle the Oreos up front. The KD machine is number 4. Down the bottom. Seat 3 slides back just a little bit. We're going to open the door for the 26. The Camry kid, Brent Roy, moving on up to second.
Brent Roy on a mission, coming from towards the back of the field, and he's got fellow second half of the field starter Evan Bollier also trying to follow through, but Ryan Libby is going to keep that spot in the 46th. He runs in 4th right now, trying to work his way into 3rd. Brent Roy, though, slips up a little bit, might kill Libby's momentum there a little bit, as the 4 of Kibbe is pulling away, and we're shuffling them up once again, and the yellow is out. John Peters nudging the wall there in the 09.
Yeah, there was, I don't think there was an official wreck that brought the, oh, maybe, there's the 04 car. We saw a little bit of a bumper car action with pretty much the entire field mid-pack on back. But definitely going to have to pull up the House Racing Design, pardon me, instant replay and find out what went down. And there's some big damage on that 04 car, so we'll get this backed up and see what it was. Again, looks like a little bit just drivers going for the same piece of real estate as we pull it up. And we're going to focus in on the 04 that you see down at the bottom of the racetrack. That's going to be 13 up high, and everything looking good so far. There you see, just kind of getting... Looked away for a second, and I missed what happened. There you can see the 04 car kind of hits that rumble strip a little bit, coming off the corner. No contact, just losing the back end of the race car and getting spun on around. And almost looked unrelated to kind of what was going out on track. That was kind of sketchy. Lots of cars just kind of going for the same piece of real estate.
Yeah, that's a tricky one right there, and tough break for Bobby Shipp, and he's been staying out of trouble most of this season in his first full season in NEP, and he's going to have a few less fenders and bumpers there as we go back to green. John Peters running once again in the 09, trying to salvage a decent day out of this. Right now, he's going to be further back in the field after making a pit stop, still working on the back of that number 09. So a long way to go, though, still. We've been saying that over and over again, but it's true. And right now, back up front, Kenny Kibbe. But Brent Roy is going to be on the front row with Kibbe when we go back to green, I believe, in about a lap. And, yeah, we'll see what happens here. And, yeah, like I was saying before, we got quite the jam-packed schedule coming up next Thursday. Not usually what you hear about in January, going to New Hampshire, but we will be going to New Hampshire Motor Speedway on January 5th, then to Vegas on January 12th, Nashville Super Speedway on January 19th, Watkins Glen on the 26th, and then we're not done yet. Talladega and New Smyrna to kick off February before we take a week break.
And that's one of the awesome things about NEPs. So many different racing styles, road racing, short track racing, big tracks, super speedways, all sorts of stuff. A big mixed bag here in NEP, and we got the green flag once again. Going to wiggle for the 26, but he holds on to it. Going to lose a little bit of position, though. That Kibbe machine got a huge restart. Has about 4 car lengths over the 26.
Yeah, and it's Kibbe's going to break out into the lead for now, and we got another battle for third. Ryan Libby keeping the third spot right now. Dale Glessner getting in the mix here in the number 10. Getting pretty close to that outside wall with Dylan Kopak battling with him. And a couple drivers we haven't said much about. And here we go again. We got the sponsor of this evening's race around.
Yeah, Cody LeBlanc pointed in the wrong direction. Gathers it back up, but a sketchy situation there. We'll back up the YRD instant replay and see what went down on track and back up the tapes and see what went down. And this is one of those cases here where it's almost kind of cautions breeds cautions. We've had a good long green flag run and even had some pit stops, a little racing on pit road action there as well. But this is the point of the race where these drivers are going to try and kind of straighten everything back out and gather their thoughts and try to focus in on the rest of the race here. Here you can see the second car kind of loses it on the front straightaway there in that little bit of a dog leg and comes back up in and sees the racing group gathers it back up. So it wasn't a big hit, just a big-time loss there in the track position field 7.
Yeah, and getting in that grass on the front straight is not the place you want to be, as you'll go sliding like we just saw. So Cody will get down into pit road here and try to make some repairs. He'll be staying in the Palmetto State for the next week and running, I think, his mini stock over at Dillon Motor Speedway next weekend. So if you're in the area, definitely go out and check out him. There's a big street stock race going on. Lots of cool race cars at that particular event. But right now we're in Myrtle Beach, and Kenny Kibbe going to see if he can maintain the lead, as we're going to see Jeff Brown get back on the lead lap. It's good to see Jeff Brown back out there. We saw he was kind of in the pits getting some repairs earlier on, and we'll see. I think that puts everyone that's running on the track on the lead lap at this point. So we do have one more lap that we're going to remain under yellow. Brent Roy running in second, Ryan Libby, the 3 normally driven by Brandon Newhouse, and Evan Boyer rounding out the top 5. And I don't think we've seen any of those drivers in the top 5 except Kenny Kibbe win this season.
No, you're exactly right. And you can see pretty much everybody in the same tire strategy so far. Belke on old tires still has not come down pit road yet in the 24 car. So he's going to have an extra set down there once we get into the latter part of this race. Still holding on to that top 10. There you can see lined up 2x2 throughout the field. Lights off on that iRacing pace truck. The 4-car of Kibbe going to restart on the bottom. Brent Roy up on the top side. And that 4-car has been a powerhouse on these restarts. We come into 3 and 4. You can see Kibbe and Libby 1 and 2 down on the inside line. The 26 and the 3 up in the high side. And there's the pace truck. He's going to grab a corn dog and a Coke. We're going to wait for Barney up in the flag stand to wave that green flag. And there you have it. Another rocket ship start for that 4-car. Kibbe on the point as they head on down into 1.
A great restart for Kenny Kibbe once again. He's doing a great job keeping that car going. And look at Ryan Messer here all the way in the middle of a bunch of lap traffic. And we got a car airborne.
Yeah, big time wreck. I think that may be John Peters on his lid there. I can't quite tell because for some reason iRacing struggles with basic math. That's the 42 car that went for a big time, looking like a modified car there at that point. That's caution flag flies once again. Big wreck here. And we'll see if we can get a replay on that. So see if we can get the video feed to stop acting all wonky.
Yeah, we're going to have to see how this all gets sorted out. There was a big stack up that time. We've seen some single car wrecks that could have been multi-car wrecks, but not as fortunate this time, as we're going to take a look at this U-House Racing Designs replay.
Yeah, it looks like it starts up here with the 10 car, and we'll try to get most of what happened here. I apologize for the video feed. Focusing on Glessner up on the top side in that number 10 car. Comes off the corner. There's a little bit of wiggly. Shoots down and gets a little bit of a big shot there from Kopech at the 16. 14 involved 42. Belke looks like he gets a piece, and it looks like a parking lot here at this point. Drivers kind of playing bumper cars, and real tough to see with that video feed. We'll have to really... We're working on some upgrades here in the hardware section of the Dane TV, so we'll get that sorted out. But my man brings out the caution flag once again. You can see the 10 car looks like he's able to get away just a couple of dings and dents, but there's a lot more dings and dents now than there were before this race started.
Yeah, I think we're going to get to the point here shortly, maybe in this final third of the race, where if your car is clean, you're one of the lucky ones. Matt Shanowski back down pit road. We saw him get into some trouble earlier in the race. He's getting some things fixed. Ryan Salvatore also has struggled here in the first half of the race. Austin Belke finally down pit road, but not the way he wanted to be. This might set him back a little bit here in the number 24. Unfortunate break for the number 24 machine.
Yeah, and looking like the 14 has retired from the race there as well. Keith Lord subbing for Zane Farrell here tonight. He scored with 25th position. Kenny Kibbe still up front, though. And Brent Roy, powerhouse race so far here tonight. 17 spots gained from where he qualified, running in that second position. Ryan Libby right there in third. Brandon Newhouse getting a little bit of a substitution help there. In for Evan Boyer, the top 5. Mr. Corey Casagrande right outside looking in 6. Jason Ricker, Scott McDonald, John Peters, and Bobby Shipp rounding out the top 10. And here we go, 4 versus 26. Once again, we're going to see Elon Musk smash that spaceship into overdrive there. The 4-car gets the restart that he needs heading into 1.
Give Kenny Kibbe great restart, and Brent Roy sliding it through the turn there. It opens the door for Ryan Libby here to try and get second position. And the number 3 with Pebble there, he's been running in the top 5 this entire race, just kind of keeping it clean after setting the fast time earlier. And I don't think we've seen the end of him just yet. And creeping up there into the 6th spot and the 7th spot, we see Jason Ricker and Corey Casagrande. First time we've really talked about them being that far up front. And we got trouble once again, I think, on the backstretch.
Yeah, caution flag flies once again. Looks like it might be the 48 of Brian Shipp pointed in the wrong direction. And it's a tough break for that 48 car, but we'll back it up once again here on the Newhouse Racing Designs. It's still easy to play. Yeah,
we'll see what happened here, and for the 48 of Brian Ship, a Jennerstown Speedway regular, and I think he might have just lost it there.
And we're seeing as these tires wear off and these drivers are on the track in the same set, they kind of get in a little bit hot here. You can see it comes out okay, and there it goes. Whoop! Quarter back end comes around. You can't even blame it on not having chrome. He's got some chrome yellow rims that look fantastic in it. It's like 5 extra horsepower. It's 5, 10. It's 20 extra horsepower. So that might have been it. You just all that extra horsepower from the chrome wheels went to the rear end of the car, just spun it around coming out. I think that's what happened.
Nice job with the math there. And,
nailed it first try.
Yeah. So we'll re-rack them once again, and we'll get started with this final third of this 150 lap, sort of an enduro almost. It seems like. And we'll see what happens. Kenny Kibbe doing a great job right now. It's the Kibbe and Libby show it will be when we go back to green here in a couple laps. We see Mike Hopkins, one of the takers on the pit road in the number 78. Also Brian Ship coming down to see what they can do with the number 48 machine. Matt Shanoski down once again. Everyone trying to some of these drivers just trying to salvage a decent run at this point as the laps continue to wind down. But right now it's all Kenny Kibbe up front. Still a lot of time to decide this. I think we're going to see another round of pit stops from any of these drivers. Maybe someone will gamble here as the laps continue to click off. But right now we're going to double up. It's going to be Kibbe and Libby on the front row. And keep an eye on some of those drivers in the back of the top 10. John Peters is 8th. Brian Messer and Regan Parent have both worked their way back into the top 10.
Yeah, Peters having a bit of a slow start to season number 4 here, the reigning defending 3-time champion here in the NEP series. Back in a 6th place, in points, and looking for a win, looking for some good runs, trying to get things sorted out here, having some trouble here tonight at Myrtle Beach in the 150 lapper here, but still having a decent run up in the top 10. Man, you talk about a good run for someone like me. A top 15 is a good run. We talk about John Peters in P8 thinking, well, he could probably do a little bit better, and he knows he can do a little bit better. And that 09 car wants to show that he is the reigning defending 3-time champion here in the NEP series. So we'll see where that 09 car of Peters wraps up. They're going to be racing, though, trying to chase down Kibbe and Libby up in the front, the 4, down on the bottom side, of 46 on the high side. Brent Roy, Newhouse, and Bollier, the top 5. Casagrande, Rickards, Peters, Messer, and Parent, the top 10. Once again, going to take the green flag with 49 laps to go.
Kibbe with a great restart once again. The 3 kind of telling Libby to let's get going here on the outside. Libby's going to maintain 2nd spot, but Brent Roy is going to take 3rd. Evan Boyer looking low to try to get 4th spot as Corey Casagrande in the mix as well. And lots going on here, but mostly single file. As we see a couple different grooves kind of coming in here. Corey Casagrande kind of caught in the outside there as Ryan Messer moves to the inside. He was able to get by John Peters on the restart. Lots of coming and going here as the laps continue to wind down.
I think this is the first race that I've actually seen drivers be single file and double file at the same time. I think that's the only way we can really describe what's going on the racetrack right now. These guys all over the place trying to get up towards the front and putting on one heck of a show here on the Dane TV. That's why we love Thursday nights, NEPs night in America. And you can see Bollier up on the high side with the caution flag going to fly. Brown looks like it might be in the wrong direction there in the 27.
10th caution of the night. A little bit of yellow fever here after the Christmas holiday. But we're going to see what happened here for Jeff Brown. May have just lost it on his own or may have gotten a little help. We'll see.
A little bit more par for the course. The 27 car getting a little bit light there in the back end, and you can see some damage from the earlier incident. And coming into the corner looks okay, but there you see it. Just comes right on around and tries to get it locked down before getting into that inside pit wall. Gets a little bit of a ding there on the right rear quarter panel and gathers it back up, grabs a gear, and gets going once again. But bringing out, like you said, the 10th caution here of the night. Drivers working overtime here tonight. A little bit longer extra distance race here for the last race of the 2022 calendar year, but definitely seems to be showing here a little bit of a war of attrition tonight. But taking a peek down pit road, Bobby Ship in the 04, going to try and see if they can get that modified put back together. Missing the whole front nose of that car. Belke in the 24 car going to get a little damage worked on, as well as the 43 of Jared Adams. Not quite having the run that he wants, back in the 23rd position, as well as Kopech in the 16. Lots of damage on that 16 car, but trying to make the best of a poor handling race car, it looks like.
Yeah, definitely. Dylan Kopech, we saw him in the top 10 there for a little bit, and I think he got in that big mix-up that we saw a little earlier. So, once again, drivers trying to salvage a decent run here, and if you're on the lead lap, you might have a shot here. And we currently have 24 cars on the lead lap. We've seen a number of yellows, and we might see some more as we continue on. Hopefully we can get a little green flag run, though, before we're through for the night. And it's going to be Kenny Kibbe taking the inside, Ryan Libby taking the outside as we are ready to go to green in just a lap.
Getting into the final third of this race, 108 down. Gonna get to restart with about 41, maybe 40 laps to go here, and got about a lap and a half. So, want to take a quick moment, take a look over at Verdane.net, virtual merchandise hauler for Verdane TV. We got all sorts of sweatshirts, hats, t-shirts, all sorts of home decor, decorations, all sorts of cool stuff. Verdane.net, a lot of Liberty Racing t-shirts as well. Angry Tree Guy merchandise, rent a race car hooked up in there as well. Use that promo code Liberty to get yourself 10% off at checkout. And hey, if you've got your idea, got an idea for a t-shirt, or want to get something put together for real racing, sim racing, something in between, wrestling, whatever you need, get in touch with us, slide in our DMs here at Verdane TV, and we can definitely make a little magic happen there for you. But Verdane.net, virtual merchandise hauler, look at it, and again, promo code Liberty for 10% off. That's for the Liberty Racing League. Hey, just don't tell Wes that I'm giving that code out. Use it at your discretion. But there you can see 2x2 once again. Kibbe and Levy up in the front, 4 down low, the 46 up on the high side.
Here we go, going green once again. A little bit of the same that we saw before. Kibbe with a great restart. Libby can't get going until Kibbe fires. So I kind of don't understand the second row there, kind of waiting, chomping at the bit there to get going there. But right now they all file once again into position, and Libby give Kibbe a little bit of a run for his money on the outside here as Brent Roy rides in third. We see them side by side for the 4th spot, side by side for the 6th spot. Brian Messer, early leader, is working his way back through the field. A lot going on right now inside the top 10 and outside the top 10 as you kind of look behind them. And battle for 4th, though, is one right now. Evan Boyer trying to inch his way even further up as he's got Ryan Messer hot on his rear for a position as well. A lot going on here, more than we can even talk about.
Front 3 have it all sorted out. Single file for Kibbe, Libby, and Willa Uhouse and Bollier get it sorted out for about a quarter of a lap. Side by side now. Bollier down on the bottom. Caution flag going to fly once again here. It looks like it's the 12 and the 48 finding themselves down in the grass area, tearing up the landscape here for the Beech.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it seems like most of the trouble is in that back half of the field. You kind of see that when you're sitting in the stands or standing in the pits at your local short track race sometimes too, and going, oh man, again. And but we see, I think it was Scott McDonald that might have set that one off in the 44.
Yeah, getting a little bit squirrely there in the 44 car. Not quite having the run that he was hoping for here tonight. Kind of mired back in the bottom half of the top 20, but there you can see kind of gets in a little bit hot, tries to back off just a little bit, gets sideways, does a great job of trying to David Lesnar there, as well as the 12 and the 48 getting a piece of the action as well. So a couple of drivers getting some damage on that. There's some more chromes. How about that? The 44 going to come down pit road. He's going to join Shinowski in the 42. The 10 of Glessner down here as well. The 9 of Rick are going to come down. So it's starting to show a lot of damaged sheet metal on these virtual race cars, and a little bit of a war of attrition. You used the term kind of enduro earlier on. Not something we usually see here on a Thursday night, but hey, you know what? Maybe everybody's full of leftovers. I know I finally I hated up my last plate of leftovers just tonight. So maybe that's what it is. Maybe we all ate too much and we're jumping back in for a long race to close it out.
You never know. I mean, I think it just goes to show, just seeing how some of these have been set off, we're not seeing much contact that's causing these yellows. It just seems like this Myrtle Beach Speedway, and we know it has a history of it being a very difficult track to drive. And we're seeing that with some drivers just kind of losing it. They're entering or exiting the corners and just not having a handle on their car, as we might see them kind of running smoothly at some other tracks. So very tricky configuration here at Myrtle Beach Speedway. Some drivers that have seemed to have it figured out, though, are going to start on the front row once again when we get back going here in a lap or two. That's Kenny Kibbe and Ryan Libby. Still 21 cars on the lead lap with closing in on 30 laps to go.
Well, 117 down and, a handful to go. Math isn't really my strong point here this evening, but getting lined up 2 by 2, getting down to the nitty-gritty, and we've seen these guys getting kind of antsy here as the second half of this race has kind of gone down. We did have that long green flag run earlier on, and one of the things that we're seeing these drivers kind of lose the back end of the race car as we get into these longer runs. Tires starting to wear off. It's almost like a cheese grater surface with this racetrack, and as all that's happening, we're burning fuel too, so the back of the car is getting a little bit lighter, and it's kind of sending these things down and around. And you're starting to see some of the drivers up towards the front. Those are going to be the guys that really ran a whole lot of practice laps here within the past week or so, and especially here in the final happy hour. And that's going to be one of the things we're going to be following on here on Thursday nights here on Neps Night in America. You'll be able to tune on to the live racing feed here a little bit earlier than green flag conditions start. You'll be able to follow along with the practice times of the drivers as they practice and as they qualify. But right now, we're following these drivers as they race, and there you can see another phenomenal restart there. SpaceX and the number 4, Kenny Kibbe, blasting off into turn number 1. They're side by side, though. Roy taking a peek down low for second.
Yeah, another great restart for Kenny Kibbe and Brent Roy. Yeah, definitely a little bit better restart trying to challenge Libby for second that time. But Libby's going to keep the second spot, get back into that slightly higher line that he's been running. And now we're almost making it 3 wide for fourth. Messer backs out just a little bit, though. Thinks a little better of it as John Peters and Regan Parent battle side by side behind him. More battle going on. We've seen so much side by side racing here this evening in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and I don't think we've seen the end of it right now, as we see Evan Boyer for the first time is about to, I was going to say he's about to clear the number 3 for fourth, but maybe not, as they're continuing side by side as Ryan Messer looks to see which lane he can choose to potentially get back into the top 5.
And a great drive for the Camry kid in that 26 car, holding on to the third spot, qualifying outside the top 15, caution flag flying once again, and there's that 24 car, a Belkey, the 04 stip pointed in the wrong direction. Big time damage on this one. We'll have to take a look at the U-House Racing Design Instant Replay and find out what went down.
Yep, and Belkey's night has gone from not so great to pretty good to not good at all. So tough break for Austin Belkey as he's mixed up in another one of these.
There you can see some earlier damage on the 24 car. Looks like some calamity up in the front and gets a shot there from the 04 car. Sends it over around. Wicker gets a little piece of the action. You can see Salvatore gets a bump as well, but everybody else able to get down and around the 48 car. The 27 get down and go down, and Belkey able to grab a gear and get going. So good news there, but like you said, tough night for the 24 car. Trying to gather this thing back up. Currently kind of scored back in the 20th, and might be up in 15th. Handful of drivers coming down pit road. Yeah,
and we see some of the leaders coming down. We see the U-House Machine and Regan Parent coming down. Could this be the strategy that gets one of these drivers the win? Very, very shortly. Corey Casagrande coming down, Cody LeBlanc coming down. But the leaders, Kenny Kibbe and Ryan Libby, I believe, stayed out. So are they going to come in before these 25 laps are over, or are they going to try to make it last on this set of tires? So right now you see they haven't pitted for several laps, and that's a bit of a gamble on a track like this where the track surface, we've said it before, it's not the newest of surfaces. So we'll see what happens as we get ready to go to green here very shortly once more.
And the top three have been pretty much as they run here for about 50 laps or so. Kibby and Libby up in the top two. Brent Roy in second. Evan Bollier, good showing in that 56 car, running in fourth. And Ryan Messer led a bunch of laps earlier on tonight, holding on to a top five there. 5 right now. You can see Peter Stadio, Mark Heffler, Hopkins, and Jason Ricker rounding out the top 10 here. 25 laps to go. CodyLeBlancRacing sponsoring tonight's action here. The Myrtle Beach Ridge 150 here at Myrtle Beach Speedway. Little kind of a mashup with a couple of racetracks that a lot of drivers have a good relationship here with in the Northeast and throughout the lands of NEP. And man, it's already the last week of December, the last race of 2022 for the NEP series as well as for the ATV. We might do a little live action on New Year's Eve on Twitch. I don't think we're going to put it on Facebook because we're going to be hanging out with the race team, going to be hanging out with the Spinatos, the Rent Race Car family for New Year's Eve. We like to, well, the saying goes, there ain't no party like a race car party because a race car party don't stop. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Looking forward to it, and looking forward to bringing in the new year. 2023 is going to be big time for Vidane TV as well as NEP, and got a lot of stuff going on with real world racing here as well. Myself personally, as well as Vidane TV. Definitely keep an eye on social media. We got some stuff in the fire cooking up for the new year. There's the pace truck down on pit road once again. Kibby and Libby giving us a show restart once again. 23 laps to go.
Yep, Kibby gets a good restart, but Libby gets a pretty good one this time. A little better than we've seen him get as he's trying to make that outside work again, but he's going to file behind Kibby once again. Brent Roy riding in third. Evan Boyer, 1 has been moving his way up as we see further back. Reagan Parent is trying to work his way through here cleanly. It's the 3 of you house, which is being driven by Mr. Purple there. The number 3, they're trying to work their way up. Hopkins gets a little loose and we got a car on the wall.
Long night getting a little bit longer here. Caution flag flies with 22 laps to go and a little bit more of the same. Drivers kind of going for the same piece of real estate, older tires, lighter fuel loads, and just short tempers, it seems like, with the one of the longer races of the season here, 150 laps at Myrtle Beach. We'll back up to U-House Racing Designs Instant Replay, and this one had a little bit of help, it looks like, but definitely pointed in the wrong direction. Focus in on the 78 of Hopkins. Gets a little bit of a bump there from Adams, gets another little bit of a bump there. Looks almost okay, and then you can see Lesnar up into the outside wall there on the 10, so could have been a whole lot worse, but blocked the racing groups, the caution flag flies once again.
I think Glessner was just trying to even out some of the damage. We've seen him have damage on almost every corner of the car. Didn't have any on the right side yet, so why not just even it out there? Maybe it'll run a little faster. But we see Hopkins coming back down pit road for some service. Matt Shanowski, he's been in numerous times in that number 42, trying to salvage potentially a top 20 finish. Scott McDonald, his night has just not gone well. He was up to about 11th to 12th spot, but it just hasn't worked out for him late in this event. We see another car getting back on the lead lap, and I believe that's Glessner, actually. So we'll have 21 cars on the lead lap when we go back to green. Kenny Kibby, Ryan Libby. We're going to stay under yellow for another lap, and then we'll probably go back to green with about 17 laps remaining. Maybe we can get one more green flag, long green flag run, and go to the checkers. I don't know if that's the best bet to take, the way these last pretty much 100, less than that. Maybe 75 laps have gone, but right now these drivers up front trying to continue to gamble and stay out on these older tires. The number 3 is currently in 13th. Regan Parent is currently 15th. The drivers to watch, see if they can work their way back into even have winning contention before this is over.
And the front 3, as they've been for most of this race. Going to talk to the third place driver, Brent Roy. Hell of a drive for that the Camry Kid in the 26 car. Up in third, you qualified back almost outside the top 20. Brent, what's it going to take to get around this Kibby Libby machine?
Oh man, I don't know. We're gonna have to time one of these restarts good, and I don't know. I think they got to get together or something and give us a chance. We don't really have too much for them, I don't think. So we'll see. We got what do we got left here? 15 laps to go or so when you get green. We've had a pretty good string of luck. I'm just hoping it doesn't go south here in the last little bit here.
looks like we're getting ready to line up 2 by 2. Back to work for the 26 car. Good luck, Brent.
Thanks, guys.
Running in third position for the 26 car, and you can see the lights are off in the pace. Once again, going to get that restart with 16 laps to go. And we've seen the 4 car of Kibby been phenomenal on these restarts again, making it to turn number 1 with the advantages that he needs, and able to not quite pull away as much as we've seen earlier on in this race. The 46 has been pretty good as again coming off the 2.
Yeah, we're going to see what's going to happen on this restart. Like we said, Brian Libby trying to out-snooker Kenny Kibby here a little bit one of these times, but Kibby has been on it every single restart. And as I say that, they're pretty even coming to the line. And could this be Libby's opportunity as we go back to green? Kenny Kibby, though, going to be running that same line, and he still hasn't cleared Libby as we go for have a battle for the lead now, as next time around we'll have 15 laps to go. Brent Roy is right there, Evan Boyer right there, Ryan Messer up to 5th. A lot going on right here, as it looks like Kibby's going to continue with that advantage in the number 4, and Libby loses it. And he's going to go around in the 2nd position, almost saved it. And here we are with the 14th yellow.
That was a last-ditch effort for the 46 car, trying to get around the 4 car, knowing that he couldn't get around him all race long. Pushing the car to the edge. You can see Lester coming down pit road there voluntarily, it looks like. But man, oh man, little dirt track and action for the 46 car didn't quite pan out like he wanted it to. But man, let's take a look at the U-House Racing designs from on board the 46 car and just really appreciate how sideways this car gets. You can see, look at it in real time, it's back and forth on the start-finish line. You can hear the back end kicks around and just all that right-hand turn and sends the car right around, tries to save it with the throttle. Gets it pointed in the wrong direction, though. So, man, it's a hell of a shot for the 46, trying to get up to the front, but not quite what he needed there.
Yeah, definitely not. He did a good job trying to save it, but it's just so tough to do that here at Myrtle Beach Speedway. And now we got a new contender up in that front row when we go back to green. Brent Roy, number 26, trying to get a win here south of the Canadian border. We'll see what happens here. Evan Boyer, furthest up he's been so far in 3rd. And there's Ryan Messer running in 4th. And Mike Hopkins is going to get the... I think there might have been a little bit of attack there as Mike Hopkins is trying to get back the lucky dog for this coming restart. And yeah, we'll see what happens here. 20 cars on the lead lap. 10 laps to go when we go back to green.
Yeah, you can see just a little bit of damage there. The 78 saying hi to Brent, as only Mike Hopkins had in the 78 car, but great to see him back in the lead lap here, getting the shots out really to get a good finish, because we've seen anything can happen here on Verdane TV. You're going to get the restart with about 10 laps to go, and it's going to be a new front row. The 4 car still leading, but we saw the 46 Libby giving a last-ditch effort, getting into the corners and get the car spun on around and out into the outer wall. Done skis for the evening, it looks like, for this one. So Brent Roy going to take a shot on the high side. That 26 car has a little bit of damage now from that incident with the 78 car. I don't think it's going to affect the handling too much, because everything else looks A-okay on that 26 car. So Roy going to be in 2nd, Kibby up in the front, Bollier, Messer, and Peters up in the top 5.
Yep, here we go. We're going to have 10 laps to go when we go back to green. Brent Roy going to get his shot out front to see what he can do with Kenny Kibby. Nobody's been able to do anything with him in these last several laps, about 80 laps or so. So let's see what happens as we go back to green next time by. What a cool camera angle that is. Some great shots there, Paul.
Yeah, always cool to see the different camera angles and that iRacing has to offer. They can see a whole bunch of damage there on the 09 car. Pretty cool to see the 3 finalists announced for JNG's gift for 2023 season over on the John Peters Motorsports Facebook page. We're not going to give it away. You got to go over and check it out for yourself. But Peters making a comeback here. Top 5 right now. 10 laps to go. Getting a restart with time to go. And there you see Brent Roy did his homework. Understood the assignment side by side, getting into 1.
Yeah, but it looks like Kenny Kibby's going to clear him there, coming out of 2. And Brent Roy, though, trying to get a run off of 2 to see if he can move below Kibby, and he's
Huge
going
dot.
to. Look at him dive bomb in there, and Kibby's going to lose it as there's contact And this race just changed completely as we as we only have a few to go.
I have a feeling we may be getting ready to witness a very big slap on the wrist for the 26 car, but we'll see what the race officials say about that move. Body slamming his way into the lead, and we'll take a look at it here on the Youth House Racing Design Instant Replay. Getting down to the nitty-gritty. Finally, single-digit laps here. Longest race of the season, the last race of 2022, the last show here on Vidane TV. These drivers want to win it, and Brent Roy trying to get himself his first win of the season in that 26 car, and we'll take a peek at it here.
The thing is, he nearly made it stick, but it's hard to make your car stick, especially on the tires these guys are running. And there's the contact right there that sends Kenny Kibbe around. And yeah, we'll see what happens here, what the decision is under yellow. Right now, Brent Roy still running up front, with Evan Boyer running second, Ryan Messer third, John Hooters fourth, and Steven Daddio. Saw him getting a couple mix-ups earlier in the event. He's now running in fifth. That's a terrible break for Kenny Kibbe when it comes to the points race, too, because now you got now he's 10 positions behind his main championship contender, Regan Parent, who's running in the 10th spot, kind of been staying out of trouble the second half of the race. Parent might have the cleanest car on this racetrack now that Kibbe ended up getting some damage there, probably just some cosmetic damage, but Regan Parent's just been kind of riding there, staying out of trouble. Maybe I guess you could say points racing a little bit. But we're going to have 4 laps to decide this one. Brent Roy and Evan Boyer now on the front row as we come back to green. Yeah, and Ryan Salvatore was as damaged as that car was. He was running in 10th, but not so much anymore. Dylan Kopak with a lot of damage to the front and back of that number 16 as well. And yeah, I think one of the drivers that stayed out of, actually he's got a little bit of damage, was Kenny Kibbe. But that's actually going to move Kenny Kibbe up a few spots, as he didn't get as badly into it as some of these other competitors. And how about the 07 of Cody LeBlanc now running in the top 10 for the first time tonight? That was the winner last time out with his substitute Alan Young, I believe it was. And going to try to keep that momentum going now and salvage a decent finish here in that ride. And we see Matt Shanoski, sans hood, almost a modified looking car, currently being scored in 10th spot. Yeah, perhaps we'll keep this one clean and not see a 17th caution. Definitely a bit of an ugly one today, but we see Brent Roy and Evan Boyer on the front row. Will get the advantage as we come back to green. Brent Roy is going to lead them as the leader as he gets a good restart. Evan Boyer, though, is not letting him get away from them, but Ryan Messer now diving below Evan Boyer. A lot of racing going still to be decided here as we have 2 laps to go. Evan Boyer trying with all his might on that outside line to run, and we got a yellow left again. Yeah, some of us have to get up for work tomorrow, but but let's see what happened here first. And yeah, Brandon Marhefka kind of on the losing end of that battle. Yeah, we got to cut it short eventually, but we see a driver getting back on the lead lap here. I think that was maybe Scott McDonald. He's several laps down, though. Might have been Bobby Shipp, actually, which would put 20 cars back on the lead lap. Right now, this points battle, it's still, like you said, Boyer is going to potentially be the big winner here. Can't say anything until it's over. The 3 is out of the race. I didn't realize that, so tough break for that for the U-House machine. We also see Parents running 7th. Kibbe is back up to 12th. So Brian Shipp running 11th, knocking on the door for what I think would be his first top 10. So a lot still to be settled here, though, on this green-white checker finish coming right up here momentarily. I believe we're gonna double them up here. Maybe not until the next lap, but Evan Boyer, though, he's probably run the cleanest race. We do see some damage on that number 56, but he steadily worked his way from starting 15th or 16th spot, one position at a time. Now he's running just one spot short of that victory, and I think he's going to try with all his might once again when we get back going here.
Yeah, uncharacteristically caution-filled night here for the NEPs series. Long night on the racetrack. I think it's going to be a longer night down in the tech shed after the race. Might be worth a listen in later on, but here we go. Lining them up 2 by 2. The lights are off on the pace truck. One low again. Brent Roy been great on the restarts. Had a lot of opportunities to take a look at the restarts from Kibbe and Libby that were up 1 and 2, but out of the picture now at this point. Brent Roy commanding this one. The 56 Boyer up on the top side. Messer, Peters, and Rickard the top 5. Daddio, Parent, Hopkins, and Shinoski the top 10. Going to get that restart here. We're going to get popsicle sticks as well. 2 laps to go here at Myrtle Beach.
Yeah, we're getting ready to get going here, and let's settle this one for good here in a moment as we see Brent Roy not able to pull away from Evan Boyer here just yet. Boyer with a run off of turn 2 just has a little bit of an advantage going into turn 3. Let's see what they have coming into the start-finish line. Some contact. Boyer's going to lead the white flag lap just by a nose. Can he keep it going, though? John Peters in the middle of this. Oh, Boyer, he drifts high now. John Peters now in the driver's seat in that second spot. Can he do anything coming to the checkered?
And there you can see Brent Roy going to drift up on a high side opening door down to the bottom, but he's able to hold on to it. Brent Roy to victory lane here for the first time this season. John Peters going to finish in second. Ryan Messer going to finish in third. Boyer and Daddio rounding out the top 5, but we got it done. 158 laps or so, and Brent Roy coming home with the victory. We're going to talk to these top 3 drivers here in the Turn 4 podcast post-race show coming up here in just a moment's time. But man, this is really going to shake up the points battle for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And Evan Boyer will salvage a fourth-place finish, which is ahead of both championship contenders Regan Parent and Kenny Kibbe. Brent Roy is going to do some donuts on the front stretch, and I think one of us, I think you've caught up with the ball.
Yeah, didn't even make it down to victory lane. We're going to talk to Brent as he's doing the donuts. Great run for the 26. A little bit of luck, a little bit of skill, and a whole lot of tire. Great run for the 26. Congratulations, Brent.
Thanks, guys. It's kind of one of those 8 tires are better than 4 deals, but that's just short track racing, I guess.
Yeah, massive move earlier on to get up into second and then getting up on a couple of those restarts up in to the first position. But, man, 229 Autosports, 1, 2, 4, and 6. You guys doing your homework here tonight, it seems like.
Absolutely, and we got Ryan Messer and Regan Parent who hang around the 229 shops. They're kind of our satellite teammates, so it's an unofficial 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 6 and 7 there. So, good run for good points night for everybody all together. Good recovery by John Peters. We didn't think that thing was going to run very fast, and all around pretty good night for everybody.
100%. And we know you don't do it alone here, Brent, with the 229 Autosport. Who else gets it done here for you for the virtual 2.6?
Well, definitely the folks at Flow Racing coming on board for sponsoring the car this year. Everybody at Speedway 660, we just released our 2023 schedule for the real show. Excited about that. Mom and Dad at home, they watch every single night that we're racing, and my sister, she always does too. My girlfriend Heather, she puts up with me doing this, so that's a lot of fun too. But can't thank you guys up there in the booth enough, and everybody at NEP. And just another win for 229.
Coming home with a victory once again, and good points tonight for all the 229 crowd as well. It's Brent Roy coming home with the victory, and a little bit further on down pit road, caught up with a guy with a great recovery here. Aaron, you're down there with John Peters in the 09 car.
John, great race for a great finish right there. It looked like that car looked a little more like a hatchback there from almost the beginning, and here you are in second spot. Did you really think coming down the wire that you'd be talking to us as a runner-up here at Myrtle Beach?
No, I'm thrilled that I am. It's great to talk to you guys again. Jesus, feels like it's been forever, Aaron, Paul. Just happy to come away from here with second. It just was kind of the tail of my season. I had bad luck all the way through. I got ran into on pit road before the race even started, so I had all kinds of damage that kind of put me behind the 8-ball, and I just tried to make the best of it from there. I saved my tires on that first run and felt like I did a good enough job to be able to stay out and at least keep track position, and that didn't really work out. And then next thing you know, you're 25th trying to dodge all kinds of wrecks. So second is wonderful. I will take it.
And this has to be a positive now that we've got a long string of races coming up, and it has to be some good momentum going into this stretch.
Yeah, I hope so. It's kind of been how the last couple seasons have gone for me, just for a number of reasons. Haven't started out all that well. I had to miss a couple races early in this season and seemingly have gotten wrecked in 3 others. So I just need to click off some clean races, and I don't know that I'd classify tonight as clean. I'm thrilled if anybody's still watching the stream. Thank you for sticking with us. But if the finish is there, we'll take it. I feel bad for Kenny. I know he's having a great run, and looks like there's just an incident up there, so that's too bad for him. But we'll take it. I'm happy. Congrats to Brent on the win, and it's fun racing with our teammates up front.
And who helps you get it here to the second spot? And I know you've had some pretty exciting announcements about the GNG's gift on social media here lately.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks to everybody who watches and supports the series. Thanks to the sponsor for tonight and Corey, everyone at NEP who does this. Thanks to you guys for obviously covering these races, but then also helping promote what we're doing with G&G's gift. I know Paul is always all over it and asking questions, so I appreciate that. We're going to have some exciting stuff coming in the next week or so with that, so I appreciate everyone's support, and happy to get out of Myrtle Beach alive.
That's John Peters, second place finisher. And Paul, I believe you're with third place finisher Ryan Messer.
Yeah, I'm going to have to grab myself a helmet. There's a lot of water bottles getting thrown around here in the virtual pit road area. There's a little bit of heat, it seems like. But with Ryan Messer coming home with a solid victory towards the front. Top 5 all night long, led some laps up in the front. What went down there the past couple, or the past few laps there, or the last few laps? Easy enough for me to say, Ryan.
Things started to get a little dicey towards the end there, but that's what you're going to get with these kind of cars on a short track. Congrats to Brent on the win and John on second, and Evan on fourth. It was a little bit rough, but no, I was able to hold on and lead some more laps in this one. Hopefully, be able to seal the deal on one of these things here soon. But no, just another good run. So hopefully, we'll get one here soon. But just happy to survive.
Yeah, and a solid points night for everybody in the 229 Autosports group, up in the top 6, 7, 8 spots. It looks like 7 spots or so. And man, the entertaining race, long night here. And mid-mention, probably going to be a long night there in the tech shed after this one. But a solid podium finish, good points night for the one car. Who gets it done for you? Who gets it to and from the virtual racetrack?
I would give a shout out to my real world sponsors, the Waterfront Pub and Eatery, McLaughlin Overhead Doors, Wonder Muffler, Bumper to Bumper, Cabin Restaurant, Cook's Construction, Watson's Home Hardware, Thunder Lightning Motorsports, Rec Auto CarQuest, Excel Manufacturing, Northeast Distributors, Service Master, MC Hammer, Castrol, Dana's and CSN Collision Centers. They're all a big help, and just got to thank all the guys for putting the race on, and you guys for broadcasting it. It's a lot of fun.
Absolutely. The one car coming home with a P3 finish and wrapping things up here at Myrtle Beach. 158 or so laps with the cautions there. Long night, but moving on to next week. Loudon next week, I believe you said, right?
Yes, I believe so. Yeah, we got Loudon coming up next Thursday to kick off the calendar year 2023. It's going to be exciting, I think.
Yeah, 100%. And made mention earlier tonight, announced a couple days ago, going to be going up to Loudon myself for the Cup Series weekend in July, the SRX race at Stafford Motor Speedway the Thursday before that. And I'm going to be the meat in that sandwich. I'm going to be driving the 6 street stock at Stafford Motor Speedway on July 14th, that Friday night. So anybody in the Northeast area, join the Verdane TV pilgrimage. We're going to try and make a party out of it. Going to bring myself a case of Verdane TV shirts and hand them out to the fans and friends of Verdane TV, and we're going to see if we can have ourselves a little bit of a party. But be safe out there. New Year's Eve coming up, New Year's Day this weekend. Everybody have fun. Everybody be safe. We'll probably do a little bit of a live shout-out or so at some point or another on New Year's Eve. But for everybody here at NEP for Verdane TV, I'm Showtime, Paul Strickland Jr., Aaron, Aaron Creed, alongside me in the broadcast booth. We will catch you on the flip side, and when we do, we are going to be doing it live. Happy New Year.